Hey, good morning, it's Pastor Pete. This coming Sunday, one of the things we'll be talking about is how God disciplines His children, disciplines the believer. And we are holy in God's sight. When we put our faith in Jesus, we are just wrapped up in Jesus. However, our lifestyle doesn't match yet because we're saints, but we're also still sinners. So God, in what we call progressive sanctification, goes to work in us to help close that gap between the way we live and our actual holy standing that we have in God. And the discipline He uses, sometimes it hurts. And to illustrate that, I want to tell you a story about a woman who was visiting in Switzerland, and she came to a sheepfold on one of her daily walks, and venturing in, she saw the shepherd on the ground with his flock all around him. Nearby, on a pile of straw, lay a single sheep, which seemed to be suffering. And looking closely, the woman saw that the sheep's leg was broken. And her sympathy went out to the suffering animal, and she looked up inquiringly to the shepherd as she asked how it happened. And the shepherd responded, "I broke it. I broke it. Of all the sheep in my flock, this was the most wayward. It would not obey my voice and would not follow when I was leading the flock. On more than one occasion, it wandered to the edge of a perilous cliff, and not only was it disobedient itself, but it was leading the other sheep astray as well. Based on my experience," said the shepherd, "with this kind of sheep, I knew I had no choice, so I broke his leg. And the next day I took food, and then it tried to bite me. So after letting it lie alone for a couple of days with no food, I went back, and it not only eagerly took the food, but licked my hand and showed every sign of submission and affection. And now let me say this. When this sheep is well, it will be the model sheep of the entire flock. No sheep will hear my voice so quickly, nor follow so closely. Instead of leading the others away, it will be an example of devotion and obedience. In short, a complete change will come into the life of this wayward sheep. It will have learned obedience through its sufferings." The Christian life is often like that. Sometimes God has to bring trouble or difficulties. In some cases, in a sense, He has to break our leg so that we will learn obedience, because that is joy. It is not joyful to be a wayward sheep. There's no happiness in being a rebel. But as we walk with Jesus, that's when we experience the greatest joy. Amen.